Hello everyone and welcome to a new video on my channel. In this video, I will discuss about the 3i Infotech story. So this stock, 3i Infotech, has been in news lately, right from last year, December itself. And it is one of the trending stocks in the stock market today. So I will be discussing about like what happened to this company in the past, what's happening to this company at the present, and also I will discuss about the software division that it has sold to another company. And then at last, I will discuss about the scheme of arrangement that's going to happen in this company, and also what impact that scheme of arrangement, in short form, it's also called as SOA. And I will also discuss what will be the impact once the scheme of arrangement happens. So after that, what will be the impact on this company? So all of these things I will discuss in this video, and this video will be a bit long since I'm going to discuss like all these details, like right from the history, sale of software division to the scheme of arrangement that's happening. So do bear with me till the last, and I'm sure that you will find a lot of information inside this video. And if you have not subscribed to my channel till now, do subscribe to it and also press the like button under this video. So let's first look into the profit and loss statement of the company to understand what actually happened with this company. So you see that you see that this thing, the profit before tax. So if you see this profit before tax, 2010 it was like positive number, 2011 it increased to 61 crores. But if we see from 2012 onwards, this profit after tax went negative, like for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years, like it was negative profit after tax. And again from 2017, if you see, it started positive and it is still positive now. If you see, there are multiple phases to this company. So before 2012, this company was doing good. From 2012 to 2016, like it was doing very, very bad. It was it was having a lot of losses in between. Again, from 2017 to 2021, it has done good. Like it has generated profits. So let's understand what actually happened. So the old name of this company was ICICI Infotech Limited. And like this was a part of ICICI Bank during that time, like when it was started. But later on in 2002, ICICI divested its stake from this company, like it sold its stake. Now, what actually happened after that? So you have seen here, right? So you would have seen here that from 2012 onwards, it started showing losses. So what is the reason for that? Between 2008 and 2011, it bought three entities for $115 million, that too using debt. And debt kept increasing after that. Now, this business that they bought was very low margin business, and this caused issue for their overall business. Right, it became a drag on their overall business. Now, in 2012, what happened? This company approached lenders for debt restructuring, because if you see this, right, they are generating huge losses here, 277 crores, 937 crores in 2015, right? So if they would not have gone for, so I also you see the interest here, they are paying interest, very huge amount of interest, 300, 320 crores, right? So if they would not have gone for debt restructuring with the lenders, then they would have, they would keep accumulating these losses in further years also. And after this, so in this debt restructuring, what happened? Most of the debt that they have was converted into equity shares. So the number of equity shares jumped from around 60 crores in 2016, then to 128 crores in 2017. And now it's around 160 crores. And then what after debt restructuring happened, after that, like the interest amount you see here, like after debt restructuring, if you see the interest amount went to 93 crores, right? Like which was 175 crores. So after this, the interest amount decreased, and they also started generating profits after that. And also you can see the number of shares. So on the right hand side, if you see, so this is the total number of shares, around 64 crores that they had before restructuring happened. And after the restructuring happened, the number of shares got like it increased to 128 crores, right? It almost, if you see, doubled. And now it's 160 crores. That's a huge amount of shares that's floating in the open market. Now, also, if you see the balance sheet also, like you can see the same, like how the condition went bad after like they took loan for buying those companies. You can see in the balance sheet also. So if you see reserves here, so in 2014, it became negative because like they were making a lot of loss. Again, it kept on becoming negative, and still the total amount of reserves they have is minus 864 crores. That's still negative till now because they have accumulated a lot of loss in between. And also, if you see the borrowings, like it went to around, if you see around 445 crores in 2015, and then the debt restructuring happened, and this some part of debt got converted into equity shares. And after that, if you see the total amount of debt has decreased, and now it's 550 crore itself. Actually, they are debt free now. I will talk about that later. So this is on the basis of March 2021. Let's first discuss about this company. So this company had two divisions. One was the product division and one was the service division. So basically, this is the IT company which has a software division and also a service division. And some of its products where you can see here, like Amlog and Premia, Orion, Amfund Plus. These were some of the products that they had. Also in the services, if you see, their service name is Altiray. And in this also, they have a lot of services in between, if you see. Now let's go back to December 2020. That means last year, December. At that time, what happened? Apex Partners agreed to buy software division for 1,000 crores. So you see, the first one is the product division, is the software division, and another one is the service division. So this Apex Partner, that's a company name, they agreed to buy this product division for 1,000 crores. And at this time, total, I mean, when they were buying this company, at that time, total debt for 3i Infotech was 800 crores. And the market cap was 900 crores. So market cap was 900 crores and Apex Partner was offering 1,000 crores for just 38% of the business. So they have both the business, right? Product and services. And this product business contributed to 38% of the revenue. And the remaining revenue came from the services business. So for that 38% of the revenue, that was actually 442 crores. So this Apex Partners was buying this this product division, which has revenue of 442 crores for 1,000 crores. And you see, after once this company gets this 1,000 crores, they will be able to pay this debt of 800 crores and become debt free after this. And I will discuss about this later on. But if you see, their product division was quite good, if you see, right? With, I mean, at the what price they have sold to Apex Partners. Now, this was the reason for the slump sale. Slump sale means like they have basically separated this product division and sold it to Apex Partners. Now, there was three important reasons. First was basically to repay all the debt that they had of 800 crores. Second was, of course, to scale up other existing business segments of the company, including the IT services that they had. So once they were in debt, right, they didn't have the cash to expand the business. So once they become debt free, they will at least have money to expand their other business. And third one is to unlock value by sale of undertaking of the company and strengthen the balance sheet of the company. So of course, once they repay the debt, their overall balance sheet will become very strong. So this is the recent result of this company. This is for like a date ending 31st March 2021. So I will go through this result and I will also share the cash flow statement, also their balance sheet. I will share all of those. So what is their latest financial numbers? So if you see here, like, of course, they have reported loss if you see in this quarter. I will go through all of this. So now after selling that product division, now the quarterly revenue has gone down to around 150 crores if you see. So before that, it was more than this, like when they already had the product division. So this result is after selling a product division. So they have not included the numbers of the product division itself here. Only the numbers of IT services are included here. So the revenue in the latest quarter was around 150 crores and total income was around 160 crores. But if you see the employee benefit expense, it was quite high at 138 crores. And then, of course, there is finance cost also because they have not paid the whole loan like till this date, 31st. So basically, these results are updated till 31st March itself. So till that time, they have not paid the whole loan. So there was also some finance cost if you see of 8 crores. Also, if you see the profit of, they have made a loss of 64 crores. And then if you see after this, like there are another unwinding of discount under fair valuation of, I mean, FCCB interest. These are again related to loan itself. So 11 crores went into this. And overall, they made a loss of 75 crores in the last quarter. So it was overall loss. Now, if you see, there is exceptional item of 390 crores. So basically, the company has sold its product division. So it will get around 1,000 crores for that. So they have to show that in this exceptional item as profit. So they have only showed 390 crores for now. Of course, you will see that in the next quarter, they will show the remaining part also as the profit in the exceptional item. So due to this exceptional item, what happened? Overall profit, like from negative, it went to positive because of this 390 crores of profit and profit from sale of that business. So overall profit went to 314 crores. But if you see on the operational basis, they were in loss last quarter. And if you see the other quarter that ended in December 2020, in that, see, there is some difference you will see between both of these. You see the employee benefit expense, it was quite high in this quarter compared to last quarter. One of the reason, according to me, is that so they have got a new CEO and they have issued a lot of shares to him. This can be one of the reasons. But let's see. I mean, next quarter results will make it more clear. Now, another difference is that if you see the other expenses, it's 53 crores in this quarter compared to just 8 crores in the last quarter. So I think this may be related to the, I mean, the sale that they have done. So I think this may be related, and this will not happen again and again. This 53 crores would be only for this quarter, and this would not happen again and again. Again, if you see the profit statement, so in the December quarter, if you see, they were making profit, a very small profit of 1 crores, but they were making profit. So in my view, in the next 2-3 quarters, I think they should again go back to positive numbers, because if you see in December, they have made an operational profit of 1 crores, right? And that also, you see, after all the debt is paid, so this finance cost, of course, will go to zero after that. So whatever they are paying, 9 crores, 8 crores, this is going to zero. And another thing, if you see unwinding of discount, and this is again related to interest-free debts and FCCBs, right? So this will again go to zero. So this 11 crores plus almost this is 20 crores, right? So this 20 crores is directly, I mean, that will directly flow to the profit statement, right? They should start showing operational profit of around 20 crores or 25 crores in the next one to 2 quarters. Now let's also look at the balance sheet. So this balance sheet is also based on that date, 31st March 2021. So if you see, they have cash and cash equivalents of around 675 crores because they have received some amount of money from that deal. So you have 675 crores as cash here. And also if you see the borrowings, it is around 516 crores now. And of course, using this cash, they can easily pay this. And they have already done that. I will show you after some time. So do remember, this data is all for till 31st March. After that, also something has happened. So I will share that later. And you can see like there are 3 parts of paying the debt. First is basically directly paying to the lenders itself. This they have already done in this quarter. So the overall debt was 800 crores, if you remember. Now it has decreased to 516 crores. So one part of debt they have already paid. The second one is basically redemption of the outstanding foreign currency convertible bonds. That is also called FCCB. So they have issued some bonds to foreign companies. And if they want to remove this debt, right? Of course, that bond is also a kind of debt itself. So they have to pay them. So first they are seeking approval from RBI, and once they get approval from the RBI, they will also clean this part of the loan. Third one is the redemption of outstanding preference shares as agreed between the shareholders and the company. So as I have told you before, when the restructuring happened in 2016, a big part of debt gone converted into equity shares. That were preferential equity shares. So basically, they will be paying to those, whoever lender has these preferential shares, they will be paying that debt to them, and they will be redeeming these preferential shares. And this has already been done. After March 31st, this has been done. I will discuss about that. And also, one interesting thing is that if you see cash flow from investing activities, you see cash inflow, outflow from discontinued operation. So basically, this is positive. That means there is inflow of around 802 crores. So that basically they have got from Apex. That was a 1,000 crores deal, but they have still got around 802 crores only for that. Still 200 crores is remaining. So they should get it, in this quarter itself. And also, if you see, they have paid around 259 crores of debt till 31st March 2021. And because of that itself, the debt got decreased from 800 to 516. Okay. Now, why they have received only 800 crores and not the whole 1,000 crores? So if you see, sale of product division and rest of the global software product business has been completed on 31st March 2021, except in Thailand and Saudi Arabia. In these 2 countries, still their product division has not been sold. Like they are seeking approvals for the same in those countries. So after they get the approval, they will sell this Thailand and Saudi Arabia. And in my view, after that, they should get the remaining 200 crores also. And after they get 200 remaining crores, their balance sheet will become more strong. They will have more cash after that. And also, I have told you before that those data was till March 31st, 2021. So on March 27, 2021, they have paid more debt. So they have paid around 431 crores of debt. So I told you there was a third category here, right? That is, there were some preferential shares, and they basically redeemed those preferential shares and they paid 431 crores. So 431 crores of debt is gone now. So if you see here, if I go here, So till 31st March, total borrowings or total loan was 516 crores, right? Now, after this, they from that was till March 31st. Now on May 27th, they paid 431 crores more. So now the total debt has decreased to just around 80 odd crores. And that also will become zero. So once they get approval from the RBI for those foreign currency bonds, once they get the approval for that, the whole debt will become zero after that. Okay, this was the first thing I want to discuss. This was one of the interesting things that happened right from December 2020 itself. And almost that is done. Some part of that is still remaining, but that should be, I think, done in this quarter itself. Now I'll discuss about the second interesting thing that is happening in this company. That is the company is doing a scheme of arrangement. I'll discuss about what this scheme of arrangement is. And this is again going to strengthen the overall balance sheet. So I will discuss about this, what this is and how it will affect the whole company. Okay. So let's again go back to the past again. So what happened with them? I have already discussed that. So that, I mean, I found this in one of the company reports also. So the company suffered a lot of loss during that period of 2011, 12, right? And after that, they went into restructuring 2016. And after that, they started generating profits. So of course, they started generating profits after that. But still, if you see the reserves, so their reserves has gone to negative after that. They have accumulated a lot of loss. So even through they were making profits right from 2016, the whole, if you see the whole balance sheet, that was not reflecting this profit. It was still, you will see the return on capital employed as very less, return on equity as very less. You will also see that the reserves are still negative. Their net worth is very less, right? So overall balance sheet, if you see, it was not quite good even after they started generating profits from 2016 onwards. So that's what company has mentioned here. So till I mean 30, this is old one, like I took from one of the old reports. And when they were actually, when they actually have started working on this scheme of arrangement, right, in 2019 itself. So the company has accumulated a loss of around 2,271 crores. That was at that time. And the accumulated loss have wiped off the value represented by the share capital. So their net worth has become very, very less. Now, due to accumulated loss for 5 years, the financial statements were not reflecting the actual thing that was happening in the company. The company had actually turned around into profits, but their financial statements was not showing this because of those accumulated loss in 2012 to 16. So this scheme of arrangement is also called SOA in short form. So what are the steps in this scheme of arrangement? If you see, first is reduce the face value of shares from 10 to 1. So there are two steps here. So first, the face value of shares, that is 10 at present, it will be reduced to 1. And after this, the second step is also there in this arrangement. The second thing is consolidate 10 shares into 1 share of face value 10. So what actually, okay, leave these two statements. I will show that with an example here. You will understand better. So what will happen after this arrangement takes place? Okay, I will explain the same with a very good example here, like taking example of numbers itself. Maybe you will find the above two lines a bit complicated. You see, at present, if you see the total number of shares that they have, total number of equity shares is 160 crores. Total share equity that they have, so basically their face value is 10. So total number of share equity is 160 into number of shares into face value. That is 1600 crores, around 1600 crores. Their current reserves is negative at around negative 864 crores. Now, what happens after this arrangement? I mean, of course, this has already been approved. But what happens after this arrangement comes into place? After that, what will happen? Total number of shares will become 16 crores. That is divided by 10. Okay. And also the total share equity will also become, it will also get divided by 10. So it will become 160 crores. And reserves will get adjusted. So of course, total share equity was 1600 crores. Now it became 160 crores. So there is also some remaining share equity, right? Where it will go? It will get added to the reserves. So minus 864 plus whatever is remaining, right? Something 1440 will be remaining. Remaining here. That will be summed up in these reserves. And overall, the reserve will become positive after this. That will be 566 crores. And if you have not understood any part of this, do ask me in the comment section. Okay, that is basically on the number of equity shares and share equity and reserves. What happens for you? So if you are an equity shareholder of 3i Infotech, what happens for you? So for you, what will happen? Let's say you are holding 1000 shares of 3i Infotech at the rate of 10. That means your average price is around 10 for buying these 1000 shares. Now, after what will happen? So after this arrangement comes into place, what will happen? You will get only 100 shares. because the number of shares you have will get divided by 10. So you will get around 100 shares. But again, you will think that overall value for you will decrease. No, it will not happen. So share price will also jump. Share price will also go to around 100. That basically that will also become 10 times. So for you, overall value will almost remain same. So this is not guaranteed as such that after relisting. So basically, for this arrangement to come into place, the stock has to first delist, and then again it will relist after some time, maybe after 1 month, let's say, right? So at that time, I'm telling you the price may become 100, but this is not guaranteed. So the relisting price also depends on what market thinks the fair value is. But of course, the fair value does not change, right? For now, if you see the market cap is, let's say, around 1400 crore, let's say, right? So after this arrangement takes place, of course, the market cap, if you see, the fair value is not going to change much, because of course this is going to benefit the company. This will not have a negative impact on the company. The results will become positive. The number of, shares will reduce. So this will all have positive impact. So according to me, the fair value should be reflected when it released again. It should be around close to 100, or maybe even above 100 itself. If the market thinks that, okay, the overall arrangement that has taken place has made the balance sheet stronger for this company. And of course, there will be no change in percentage shareholding for you. So let's say if you are holding 1% of the share now, it will still be 1%. There will be no dilution for you. So this has happened in many other companies. For Ruchi Soya, if you remember, there was a huge dilution that took place. No, there is no dilution for this. So what is the timeline for this? So of course, they have got the approval from NCLT for this, but they are still waiting for the hard copy of the order. So they have got the soft copy, but they're still waiting for the hard copy of the order. Once they get this order, then they will submit this to the exchange, BSE and NSE. And this is an example for not for this company. So Subex is another IT company that went through a same kind of restructuring. And this is, I have taken from their slide. So for them, they see first 3i Infotech has to, fix a record date. That has not been done still. So once the date is fixed, that is called X. So if you see, it will take around 10 to 15 days after that for relisting to happen. That was the proposed timeline for Subex. But let's see for this company, what is the timeline? They will also come up with these numbers after. Like once they get the hard copy, so they will then submit to NSE and BSE. After that, they should also come up with a fixed record date. So basically on that record date, what will happen? The share will delist first. And after delisting, like all the changes will take place. The balance sheet will, number of shares will decrease. The number of shares will decrease and results will become positive. All of those things will happen. And after that, they will get relisted in around 10 to 15 days. Now, I will also discuss one more important thing. So this came into the news recently, that 3i Infotech is aiming to achieve organic revenue growth of $1 billion by 2020 by creating products, platforms, and services for its client, leveraging technologies like 5G is in edge computing, cognitive artificial intelligence, machine learning, data science, analytics, and blockchain. So they have recently got a new managing director and CEO, whose name is Thompson P. Gananam. That's his name. So, this is a very good change in my view. Like if you see the experience of this new CEO, he has worked with various companies. He has worked with Hexaware. He has worked with Tata, and he has a lot of experience in this IT industry. So that his experience, whatever he had in the past, will be very beneficial for 3i Infotech. And this is a statement from him itself. Like he's planning to make this company, $1 billion in terms of revenue by 2030. Of course, this is a very big target. So if you see the current revenue, what is the current revenue? So around 150 crores, right, for one quarter. So maybe around 600 to 700 crores per year, right? What is $1 billion? That's almost like more than 7,000 crores, right? If you take around 72 to 73 at the conversion rate, so around more than 7,000 crores. So basically, he is trying to increase the sales by 10x in the next around 9 to 10 years. So that's a very, very, I will say, aggressive target. But let's see. This company already has a lot of employees. So they have around 4,000 employees. And they also have like very good clients. They have more than, I think, around 1,000 plus clients in the IT services. So they, of course, have these clients. They have the employees. The only thing they have to do is to expand now. And of course, now they also have the cash for it. Before, the issue was that they had a lot of debt. So they were not able to accelerate faster. Now, since they have cash now, they should be able to move faster now. But still, I think that $1 billion target till 2020 is still very, very aggressive. Even if they achieve half of this, the company will do great. And on the right side, this is a statement from again the CEO, new CEO itself, that 3i Infotech is at the cusp of a new growth story, and our aim is to be one-stop digital transformation resource for our global clientele with a customer-first approach and human-centric outlook. As we step into a new decade of 5G and technology, 3i Infotech envisions being the steady force to lead our clients into a new domain of digital business services. So that's what all the IT companies are doing, right? They are doing digital transformation for their clients. And that's what they are also going to, but they are not now going to be aggressive in this. During the last 3-4 years, of course, they started making profit, but they were not able to expand because of the 800 crores of debt that they had. Now they are going to aggressive with this. That's all for this video. And I hope that you would have understood like the whole 3i Infotech story, what happened in the past, how the turnaround took place, and what is happening now, right? And this will be a very good story of a turnaround company. Very few companies you will see, I mean, happen like once a company has got into debt, right? Mostly they are trapped in this forever. They typically go to NCLT, or maybe they go bankrupt after that. Like, and few companies like 3i Infotech, they bounce back. And of course, you have to give credit to their overall management for doing this, right? So that's my view on the whole 3i Infotech story. And I really like this story of this turnaround. And if you do have any questions related to whatever I have discussed here, do ask that in comments. I will try to clarify like whatever I know. And of course, if I have done some mistake in this, okay, in this video, do and tell me that in the comments also. And do remember that this talk is not a recommendation from my side. I am only sharing the data that's almost available in the public domain. Do your own research, like if you want to invest or hold this stock for long term. Thank you.